You can buy a lottery ticket hoping to win big, but sometimes a strange little creature unexpectedly shows up at your home, bringing with it a stroke of luck even greater than the jackpot. Hello there. Welcome to Harmony Teachings, your guide to understanding and applying traditional Feng Shui wisdom to modern life. In Feng Shui, there are certain symbols that do not come from an altar and they are not found on a compass. Instead, they appear completely by chance in forms you would never expect. They do not glow. They do not knock on your door. Yet, they have the power to shift the flow of energy in your living space in very real ways. Today, I want to tell you about for animals uninvited guests. But if you are observant enough to recognize them, their presence might just be a sign of good fortune, a turning point, or a wave of luck that is coming your way. Feng Shui is not about being afraid of the unknown. It is about learning to listen to the messages the universe sends us through the small events in our daily lives. And sometimes opportunities do not show up in a contract. They come through how you respond to something that seems like it should simply be chased away. So before you wave your hand to scare off a harmless creature, take a moment and pause, because you might be unknowingly sending your good luck right out the door. If you are ready to welcome what comes your way, leave a comment. I choose to live in harmony so that good fortune finds me. That intention alone can be the beginning of positive energy flowing from within you. And do not forget to subscribe to Harmony Teachings so that every week you gain a little more wisdom, a little gentle transformation in your journey to live in harmony with your space, your time, and yourself. Now open your heart just a little, because right after this, we are diving into the most exciting part, revealing the identities of special guests, living beings that may bring prosperity into your home. Number 1, the graceful swallow. Among countless bird species, it is no coincidence that the swallow is considered a messenger of fortune in Feng Shui. It is not because swallows are beautiful or because they fly well, but because of the way they live, the way they choose where to land, and the unique energy they carry. Swallows are known for their homing instinct, meaning no matter how far they travel, when the season comes, they return to the exact same place. And interestingly, they do not just settle anywhere. They only build their nests in spaces where the energy field is calm and stable, free from strong disturbances of negative energy or chaotic energy clashes. In other words, if a swallow chooses your home to nest, that is the universe paying you a compliment. You do not need to hang ancient coins or buy a gold mine, a splendid dragon statue to put in your wealth corner. If a swallow has picked your eaves, it means the energy flow where you live is peaceful, balanced, and attractive to natural energy. On top of that, swallows symbolize smooth new beginnings, especially in love and family matters. In the past, people often believed that the arrival of swallows meant good news was coming to the family, or that relationships that had gone cold would soon be warmed again. And you know what they say, a peaceful home is the best foundation for lasting prosperity. Someone once asked me, do swallows bring actual money into the house? I laughed and said, no, but they bring something even more valuable, peace, so you can create money yourself. Because when your mind is calm, your home is warm, and your emotions are settled, whatever you do out in the world will come more easily. You communicate better, you make clearer decisions, and your investments are less likely to fail. That is the modern view of prosperity in Feng Shui. It is not about gold and silver falling from the roof. Now, many people worry that swallows nesting might make a mess. Yes, it is true. You might have to clean the porch a little, but ask yourself, would you rather spend a few minutes sweeping or lose a rare energy flow that chose to visit you on its own? A few swallow droppings will not harm your Feng Shui. It is only human impatience that can disrupt your energy field. And one more thing, swallows are loyal, monogamous creatures. If you let their nest remain through the season, there is a good chance they will return the following year. meaning you are not just receiving fortune once. You are creating a cycle of energy that repeats year after year. It is almost like renewing a contract with the universe. To sum it up, swallows are not gods. They are not decorative feng shui objects you place on a shelf. And that is exactly what makes them so valuable, because they come to you on their own, beyond human control. Their presence holds true feng shui power. So if one day you see a swallow flying into your home or gliding near your porch, do not shoo it away. See it as a new energy current looking for a place to settle. A quiet message from the universe saying, this place is ready for more blessings. And are you ready to protect a home not just for the bird, but also for your own good fortune? Number 2, the transformative butterfly. In Feng Shui, the butterfly is a symbol of gentle transformation from old to new, from confinement to freedom, from internal struggles to outward radiance. It is not by chance that ancient people called butterflies soul birds, creatures that carry the spirit of the wind. Because wherever butterflies appear, the atmosphere seems to soften. The presence of a butterfly is never loud. It does not screech. It does not dart sharply. And it does not flap with force like an eagle. It simply shows up. And yet that quiet presence can calm an entire space. Feng Shui is not just about the energy of the earth or the heavens. It also speaks to the human energy or the emotions of the people living in that space. And butterflies act like a soft melody, helping our inner energy return to balance. Many people panic when a butterfly flies into their home. Is it a sign of something? Why does it keep circling? I smile and ask, it is flying alone peacefully, not bothering anyone. So what else could it be but a beautiful sign? The truth is, butterflies often show up when the energy in your home is going through a positive shift, when a new current has just opened. It might be a moment when you have finally let go of something from the past, started a fresh chapter, or simply your mind has found calm after a turbulent time. I was once told a story by an elderly woman. She had just experienced a major loss. Her husband had passed away after a long illness. One morning, while meditating on her balcony, she felt a gentle breeze brush across her shoulder. When she opened her eyes, a soft yellow butterfly had... It did not fly away. It did not flinch. It just stayed there, like a gentle punctuation mark in the blank space of her life. She said, I do not think it was my husband coming back. But in that moment, I felt not alone anymore. That is Feng Shui. Not mystical, not about summoning rain or wind, just the art of feeling the flow of life quietly moving around you and within you. On a practical note, butterflies also beautify your surroundings and spark inspiration. A garden with butterflies is a garden full of life. A person who is feeling stressed might soften just by seeing one flutter by. That is why many natural therapy centers use butterfly imagery to help soothe emotional tension. And do not forget, if you see a butterfly at a pivotal moment, like after making a big decision or during a time of parting, it could be the universe gently signaling you are on the right path. Number 3, the powerful snake. For most people, having a snake show up in the house means pure panic. But for those who understand Feng Shui, a snake is not just a reptile. It is a symbol of powerful transformation, awakening, and even wealth. In both East Asian culture and many ancient civilizations, snakes are often associated with the deep energy of the earth where dragon energy flows. This refers to complex but incredibly potent natural energy currents. That is why in many traditional Feng Shui images, snakes are often shown alongside dragons as a more grounded version of transformational energy. When a snake enters a house, it is not by chance. It is following a stream of energy. And if your home is going through a major change, new construction, moving in, remodeling, or significant family events, the energy lines of the land may shift, creating a sensitive spot that the snake can sense and approach. Now, I am not saying a snake is a direct sign of luck, but I can say for sure it signals the activation of a powerful energy current. The real question is, how do you respond? Someone once asked me, is a snake in the house a bad omen? I answered, if you scream and kill it, then yes, you have just destroyed a Feng Shui signal. But if you stay calm, open a door and let it out safely, then you have shown awareness. And the universe respects those who act with understanding. A snake does not want to live in your house. It is simply passing through, following energy lines. You do not need to perform rituals, burn strange herbs, or act aggressively. Just stay calm. Create an open path or, if needed, call a professional wildlife handler. Be gentle, respectful, and mindful. That is enough. And here is something worth mentioning. Many people see a snake and rush to perform rituals to ward off evil. But no one stops to ask, why am I so afraid? The snake does not bring negative energy. Your fear does. Feng Shui teaches us to welcome, not to run. Overreacting only disrupts the energy flow that is trying to find balance. I once heard a great story. A man was cleaning his backyard when he spotted a small snake entering his shed. He did not kill it. He simply opened the door and waited. A week later, he closed a major deal he had been chasing for months. It was not because the snake brought me money, he laughed, but because I chose to act differently. In Feng Shui, the snake is a test of your calm. It does not come to make you scream. It comes to see whether you are ready to live in harmony with what you cannot control. And sometimes how you react to that snake says a lot about how you are treating your own good fortune. Number for the watchful gecko. Among the most misunderstood animals in Feng Shui, the gecko definitely ranks high on the list. It is not graceful like the swallow, not dreamy like the butterfly, and not mysterious like the snake. The gecko is a creature with a look that is hard to love, and it makes strange noises in the middle of the night that can really startle people. But if you learn to see with Feng Shui eyes, you will realize the gecko's incredibly sensitive to energy. It does not call out to scare people, and it certainly does not want to be the boss of the night. Its call, in reality, is a natural yin-yang alert, a very accurate biological signal. Geckos usually make noise when there is a shift in the energy flow, especially when the space becomes unbalanced or when there is something unfamiliar, a new person, a new object, or new energy. That is why people often mistake the gecko's call as a bad omen. But in truth, it is just reacting to a disturbance in the energy field it lives in. In other words, a gecko is like a natural alarm system installed in your ceiling. It cannot speak, but it can alert. And when something is alerting you, you should not be annoyed, but rather pay attention. On a practical level, the gecko also plays a major role in protecting your living space. It eats mosquitoes, cockroaches, termites, flying ants, meaning it quietly keeps your home's energy field clean and free from disruptive pests. You do not need sprays or bug zappers. The gecko works silently, never asks for pay, never takes a vacation, and does not need a sign saying on duty. Many people are afraid of geckos. I ask, has it ever tried to bite you? No, but it makes noise. I reply, people complain all the time, and no one's scared. Why fear a creature just doing its job? In truth, geckos dislike bright. If you really want one to leave, just turn on the lights in that area, or open a door so it can find its way out. Do not kill it and do not chase it away violently, because Feng Shui never encourages removing energy with force. That only creates hostile energy, a disruption of the yin-yang axis that can affect the peace of your space for a long time. I once visited an old house where the gecko was considered a guardian spirit. The homeowner said, if I do not hear its voice at night, something feels missing. And sure enough, that family had been doing well for decades, peaceful, successful, and harmonious. Not superstition, just the result of living respectfully and mindfully alongside the creatures around them. Geckos do not choose homes randomly. They are drawn to places where the yin-yang energy is relatively stable, with enough natural food and not overwhelmed by chaotic energy. So when you see a gecko, instead of asking why is it here, ask yourself, what is my space reacting to? How to respond wisely to these visitors. So when one of these creatures suddenly shows up in your home, what should you do? Right now, I will show you how to respond wisely so you do not accidentally send your good fortune out the door. Number 1, observe instead of reacting. When an unexpected animal enters your home, whether it is a gecko, a butterfly, or even a slithering guest like a snake, most people's first response is to panic, scream, or grab a broom. But if you practice Feng Shui properly, the right response is not instinct. It is observation. In Feng Shui, any appearance can be the sign of a new energy current, a shift in the yin-yang axis, or a message from your living space that you have not yet noticed. And if you act immediately out of habit, fear, or an old reaction, you might accidentally interrupt the natural movement of energy. Try pausing for just a moment. Look closely. Take a deep breath. Watch what the creature is doing. Is it actually dangerous, or is it simply trying to find its way out? Is it causing any harm, or is it just passing through with a new energy? Feng Shui teaches us to be still before we move, to observe before we react, and to understand before we respond. Because when you act from fear, you can create killing energy. And that energy does not come from the animal but from your own rushed, unmindful reaction. Observation is not just about watching the animal. It is about observing yourself. What emotion is rising in you? What exactly are you afraid of? Is the creature the problem, or is it your perception that needs adjusting? A truly harmonious space is not just a place with the wealth corner in the right direction or with all the Feng Shui items perfectly placed. It is a space where the people living there know how to remain calm when the unexpected happens. Number 2, do not use force, transform the energy instead. True Feng Shui does not teach you to dominate your space with force. It teaches you to transform energy with wisdom and a calm heart. So when you encounter an unfamiliar animal in your home, no matter how scared you are, remember this: do not use violence. Killing a snake, destroying a bird's nest, chasing off a gecko with a stick, those actions might give you instant relief. But in the long run, they create something called killing energy. And this is not some ghostly curse. In Feng Shui, it is the disturbance of the energy field caused by extreme, uncontrolled behavior. And that is what silently affects your fortune, your peace, and your mental state. When an animal enters your home, it is usually because it is drawn by light, warmth, or simply passing by. It does not intend to stay forever and certainly not to invade your territory. But if you respond with aggression, you do not just disrupt the energy flow, you also leave behind a negative vibration in your space. Instead, learn to transform the situation. Open a window or a door and let the light and fresh air guide the animal out. If it is a snake, call a professional wildlife service. They know how to remove it without harm. If it is a gecko, just turn on the lights and keep calm. It will find its way out. If a bird has built a nest, wait until it. No need to destroy it. You do not need to prove your power to a tiny creature. All you need is to stay in control of your energy. And that is the highest form of Feng Shui in practice. Number 3, see them as messengers, not intruders. Feng Shui is not just about measuring directions, calculating birth years, or placing lucky charms. True Feng Shui lies in how you read the messages your space is sending. And sometimes those messages do not come from a book. They come from a living creature moving through your home, reflecting the current energy state of your environment. No animal can appear without the right conditions. And its presence, whether for a few seconds or a few days, is always a result of a specific energy movement. Maybe that area is too still, too humid, too stagnant, or has just gone through a shift in internal energy. These are things you might not notice with the naked eye, but animals sense them clearly. So when you see a creature stop by, instead of reacting like someone has broken in, try changing your mindset. Be respectfully curious. See its arrival as a message, a nudge from your environment, telling you to take a closer look at your space and at your own inner state. This shift in perspective will calm your emotions and help you reconnect with your home. You will stop seeing things as bad luck or good. Feng Shui is about flowing with energy, not controlling it. And you cannot do that if you treat everything unfamiliar as a threat. On the contrary, when you treat a creature's appearance as a message, you gain insight into how to realign your space so the energy can keep flowing instead of being blocked by fear or resistance. Number 4, be grateful and send them off with lightness. When an animal leaves your home, whether because you gently helped it out or because it simply moved on, take a moment to feel gratitude. You do not need a ritual. You do not need to make it a big deal. Just one simple thought: thank you for visiting. I have listened. That is not a message for the animal. It is for the energy flow that just passed through your space. Because every visit brings a shift in the yin and yang currents. And when you express gratitude for that shift, you help keep the energy moving smoothly and in balance. Some may say, why show gratitude for something so small? But in Feng Shui, there is no big or small. There is only whether the energy is flowing or stuck. And gratitude, even when psi vibration force that naturally clears and uplifts the space. No objects or ceremonies required. Sending off a creature is not about chasing it away. It is about completing an encounter, even if it was brief. And if you do it with ease and kindness, you not only protect the peace of your home, you also preserve the balance in your heart. That is what makes you a true master of your space. Not by force, but by energy. In the end, remember this: what comes to remind you of something. What leaves after its message is delivered. Your job is to notice, to give thanks, and to gently let go. That is how you live with Feng Shui, not use Feng Shui as something to control. Closing, embracing the messages of the universe. The universe has its own unique way of sending messages to every home. Sometimes not through a strong wind, but through a sound in the night, the quiet flutter of wings, or the silent arrival of a tiny creature slipping into your living space. What matters is not what you see, but what you are able to read from that moment. When you slow down, when you observe instead of react, transform instead of push away, and let go with gratitude, you are not just practicing Feng Shui. You are living in a more refined and harmonious state with nature, with your home, and with yourself. Remember, these creatures do not show up to bother you. They come to offer you an opportunity to adjust the energy flow, to reflect on your own state of mind, and maybe, just maybe, to open up a new corner of prosperity that you had never noticed before. Feel free to share your experience in the comments. For example, I once saw a swallow build a nest under our porch, and strangely enough, that same year our family received wonderful news. Or simply leave a positive affirmation, like I choose to live in peace and welcome every message from the universe. These small but meaningful stories do more than you think. They help raise not only your own energy, but also the collective vibration of our community, one day at a time. And if you find these messages helpful, do not forget to subscribe to Harmony Teachings so you never miss the next video, where I will help you uncover the hidden corners of your living space, making sure positive energy flows exactly where and when it needs to.